Solving multi-step equations. Now we're going to solve equations where you have to do a little bit extra work before you can solve it the way we've been solving it. So, like in this first one, we have negative 5r plus 6 plus 3r equals 5. So what we have to do is simplify first and then solve. So when I simplify, what I need to do is I need to put my r's together. So I have negative 5r plus 3r. Okay, so what that is, negative 5 plus 3 is a negative 2 times r, and then I have the 6 plus 6 equals 5. So now it's a two-step equation. So my first step is to get rid of the plus 6, so I subtract 6 from both sides, leaving me with negative 2r equals 5 minus 6 is a negative 1. And finally, negative 2 times r, so to get rid of negative 2 times r, I got to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. So my final answer is r equals negative, double negative here turns to a positive, 1 over 2, 1/2. And that's your final answer. Now the next one, 3p minus 5 equals negative 2 plus p. Okay, so now, this time, my p's are on different side of the equal sign. So I need to do the opposite sign to get them together on one side of the equal sign. So what I'm going to do is subtract p, because right now it's plus p, so I'm going to subtract p from both sides. So 1p minus 1p crosses out, leaving me with just negative 2 on that side. And then I have the minus 5. 3 minus 1p. 3 minus 1 is 2p. So now I have a two-step equation. 2p minus 5 equals negative 2. So minus 5, I need to add 5 to both sides. So I get 2p equals negative 2 plus 5, which is a positive 3. And then the last step here is 2 times p, divide by 2. Both sides. So my final answer is p equals 3 over 2. And if I can simplify that, I will, but that is actually simplified. So your final answer is 3 over 2. Example 3, we have 3 times the quantity 7x minus 2 plus x equals 5. So on this time I have parentheses and I have a number that is multiplied right here. So when I am simplifying, I start by doing my distribution. So 3 times 7x, remember multiply, gives me 21x. 3 times negative 2 gives me negative 6, and then I have this plus x equals 5. Alright, and then I'm going to simplify. So I need to put my x's together. 21x plus another 1x is going to give me 22x. And then I have this minus 6, and it equals 5. And I am now at a one-step equation, or sorry, a two-step equation. So I add 6, opposite of minus is add, so plus 6, cancel that out. 22 times x equals 11. And my final step here is to get rid of times 22. So divide by 22. Divide by 22. And now I have to simplify. So if I simplify 11 over 22, I get x equals 1/2. And that is your final answer. Example number 4. 5 times the quantity r plus 1 minus 3 equals 2r. So this one starts out the same way because I have times a quantity, so I need to distribute. So when I distribute, I have 5 times r, or 5r, and then 5 times 1, so plus 5. minus 3 equals 2r. So now I can put my 5 and my minus 3 together, giving me 5r plus 2 equals 2r. So now I have an extra step where I have my r's on separate sides. So I want to bring my r's to the same side and everything else on the other side. So I'm going to actually subtract 5r from both sides. Now the reason I'm subtracting 5r from both sides is because I want the r's to be by themselves on one side, so I want this 2 to stay on the other side. So I'm going to subtract that, and I get 2 equals 2 minus 5, which is a negative 3 times r. And now I need to solve for r, so negative 3 times r, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, and that is my simplified answer there. So my final answer should be r equals negative 2 over 3. Final answer. For example 5 here, we have 8p minus 7p equals 2 plus 3p. So when we simplify, we got to put our p's together. So 8 minus 7 is actually 1p equals 2 plus 3p. Alright, and now the next thing we got to do is get our p's on one side and our numbers on the other side. So I'm going to subtract 3p from both sides. So 1 minus 3 is a negative 2p, and that's going to equal my 2. So at this point, I solve negative 2 times p, divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, and p equals 2 over negative 2, which is a negative 1. Final answer. And the last example here, we have 3 times the quantity, negative 2x minus 1, plus x equals 5x plus 7. So what I'm going to start with is by multiplying and doing my distribution here. So 3 times negative 2x is a negative 6x minus 3 plus x equals 5x plus 7. Okay, so now I combine my like terms on this side of the equal sign, giving me negative 6x plus x, or 1x you might say, is going to be a negative 5x minus 3 equals 5x plus 7. So now I need to get my x's on one side. So I'm going to subtract 5x, subtract 5x, leaving me with negative 5x minus another 5x, which is going to give me a negative 10x. Make sure you're careful. That is negative 10. They don't cancel out. Minus 3 equals 7. Okay, so now I have a two-step equation. So I'm going to start by getting this 3 away. So plus 3 plus 3. So I have negative 10x equals 10. And my final step, negative 10 times x, divide by negative 10, divide by negative 10. And x equals 10 over 10 is 1, and it's negative, so negative 1. And that is your final answer. So those are your notes over solving multi-step equations. Go through the practice problems. Make sure you can do all these different types where you have them on both sides of the equal sign, you have quantities in there, and you have to distribute. Make sure you can do all these different types, and then you can take your quiz over this material.